Yo, yo, what's going on, family? Grand Rising. I hope you're having an amazing day today. It's your boy Algeron. Welcome to Breakfast with Algeron. Here, we really just focus on bettering ourselves, even if it's just 1% better. I appreciate you guys taking time to hop onto this video, and I hope you guys enjoy the message coming up. We're going to get started on IG Live. I know we're starting a little bit late today, so I do apologize. Weather out here is a little chaotic. So had to take a little bit more time to get on the road and stuff like that and being safe. But I don't really have a lesson or a training today. So we're not talking about the 5 factors or the 6 principles or, the 4 pillars. I just want to talk to you guys just straight. And as you guys can see in the title, you know, as I'm driving, I'm just thinking about what do people really need to hear today? What do I need to hear today? Because I realize even with me being late today that I spent a lot of time putting the needs of other people first, right? And I think it's really important that we all get reminded how important it is to really focus on you and always putting yourself first because we're taught to always put the needs of others first, to be selfless, right? Before you're selfish. And a lot of people tend to leave all their extra energy, all their extra time for themselves when it should be, in fact, the other way around. You see, I grew up always being told that I had to think for other people. I had to think about what other people need, that my needs came second to the needs of the majority. And that's not anyone's fault. It's not our fault that we were raised to believe this way. But if you think about, being on airplanes, right? If you ever flew in an airplane, how many of us have, seen when they give us instructions on in case of emergency, when the mask drop down, what do they say? Put your mask on first before you put the mask on somebody else or you help somebody else out. And I think there's a little bit of a lesson that we can take into that because how can we expect to help other people get to a certain point when we're not there? You see, it's too many mentors out there, too many mentees, too not necessarily too many mentees, but it's too many self-proclaimed mentors who are telling you how to get to this level of success, how to get 6 figures in 6 months. It's too many of that. And the expectation is that people should all have started the same standard point. And I realize, even with people that I train, even with people that I mentor, that in order to really take people to the greatest to great distances, you always have to start from where they are. Success, there is no secret sauce. There is no, one trick fits all, right? When it comes to really being successful, it's all customizable because we all have different definitions of success, right? Some of us is just feeling happy on the inside. Some of it is financial. Some of it is spiritual gain. Like we all have different definitions of success, but that's getting away from the point. So again, I say this to say when you really put yourself first, that's where your true energy is coming from. That's where you feel good. You wake up smiling. You wake up and everyone tells you, "Oh wow, something's different about you. You're glowing today." It's because we're filling our cups first. And I always use this analogy when I'm talking to people about how to properly train and how to properly, be that ball of sunshine for everybody around you. You have to be willing to pour into your cup first. You have to be willing to pour into yourself because if you think of yourself like a cup, right? And the energy of life, right, is endless fountain, right? So that fountain's never going to stop pouring out blessings and high energy. But if your cup has a hole in it, how can you expect to pour into somebody else's cup? Right. And when I realized that I was pouring into others out of an empty cup, I realized that I wasn't really providing value for everybody. I was providing value maybe for myself or maybe for people who are in similar circumstances as me, but I wasn't really pouring into enough people because I still had a cup to fill myself. Now, I did a training on this, and if you guys check my videos out. I believe I have one maybe towards the beginning. I forget when the video was, but I talked about how to fill your cup, right? Because the analogies, they make sense, but how do we actually fill our cup? Like, what actions can we take to really starting to fill our cup? And I can tell you that for me, the start of that was my morning routine. A lot of us don't have a steady enough morning routine where we're we're really pouring into ourselves effectively. Now, what does a morning routine consist of? I can tell you what it doesn't. It doesn't involve, you know, picking up your phone and going straight to social media. It doesn't involve answering text messages from people who are literally dumping all their problems with you on you early in the morning. You see, a morning routine is supposed to build yourself spiritually. It's supposed to build yourself mentally. It's supposed to build yourself sometimes physically. A morning routine could be also part of your morning routine could be going into the gym. But we always make these excuses, right? Oh, I'm tired. Oh, I don't have enough time, right? You don't have enough time for yourself. So where's all this time coming from? And it's not a shot at anybody. I want anybody to feel attacked watching this video, right? This isn't Algeron, attacking you. It's just to give you perspective. Because the moment that I got perspective that all these excuses I was making to myself about not having enough time, not being able to stay disciplined, not being able to stay consistent, all those excuses I was telling myself was uh me being afraid to really better myself. It was me afraid of becoming the better version of who I needed to become. But it all started with the morning routine. So what does my morning routine consist of? My morning routine may be different than yours, right? What's going on, Daisy? Tone. What's going on, family? So my morning routine may be different than most people. Your morning routine should be what benefits you the most. You shouldn't, you can use your mentors, you can use other people's morning routine to kind of give yourself structure, but your morning routine does not have to be based around mine. But I'll give you guys a breakdown of what my morning routine consists of. And I've had days where, again, I was so focused on other things that I forgot to pour back into myself. And I feel god awful, guys, when I don't want to do my morning routine. It feels like, you guys ever feel like you like left your phone at home and you get that gut feeling, oh, like you're already like far past your house, like it's gonna be like an inconvenience going back to it. That's the feeling that you should have when you don't do your morning routine. That's how you really know your morning routine is integrated into your life. But going back onto the topic, let me give you guys a breakdown. Yeah, working out, Daisy, it's rough, right? It's so rough, especially, as a parent or even after, even like a former athlete. It's hard to motivate yourself to getting back into shape or getting back to where you want to. But your why is that driving force that's really going to push you towards getting there. But you know, it's you take it one day at a time. You got to take it one day at a time. Now, one of the things that people could do, because I feel like the biggest problem, with morning routine, being consistent with something, is that we set the bar way too high too early, right? So my mentor, he told me that he was getting back into the gym, because felt like, he was just getting out of shape and he wanted to better himself. And what he told me was that he gave himself a goal, but he set the goal low enough where he knew it could be attainable. And then the following week, he would set the bar a little bit higher, a little bit. Too many of us say, "Oh, I want to get back into the gym," and they say they're going to go a full blown 6 days out of the week. It's like, bro, like, why are you going that hard? Like, you're making it difficult. You're just getting back into it, and you're not slowly progressing the goal. You're just jumping right into it, saying 6 days a week. That's not going to work. But um, But yeah, so I would say that if you're really looking towards bettering yourself in 2022, you got to put yourself first. In order to do that, I would highly encourage you to have some form of morning routine. Now, I'm gonna give you guys a breakdown my morning routine on a day to day. Now, do I have days I miss it still? Yes. And part of that I'm gonna work on is again reminding myself that everything else doesn't matter. I have to put myself first. I used to do that, drain myself and be sore. Same, sis. Is to go all out day one and then just be sore for the entire week. So I say this to say, my morning routine consists of this. When I first wake up, first thing I do is get on my knees and pray. Thank God or whoever your creator is. Just have a conversation with your creator. Just thank them for another day. Thank them for where you are now and just practice gratitude. Gratitude and emotion. I'm sorry, gratitude and love are the highest forms of emotion. Gratitude and love are the highest form of emotion. So being able to show that early in the morning, you're already ahead of 90% of the people in the world. Now, the next thing I do is meditate, right? Give myself an opportunity to be able to embrace silence. And I usually, for parents, we got to wake ourselves up a little bit early before the kids come up. Because once the kids are up, you already know it's game over. So it's important to make sure that meditation, and I don't meditate long, guys. I don't want you guys to think you have to meditate for like a half hour. My meditations consist of 5 minutes of just pure silence. Sometimes meditation will be focusing on goals. Sometimes it'll just literally just working on breathing, right? Definitely look up, if you guys are watching this, check out Boho Meditation and it'll change your life. Boho Meditation, I believe it's Boho Meditation on YouTube. Amazing videos. They have a long series of different videos for different situations. And I just listen to them. Helps me breathe, helps me clear my mind. So the purpose of that is the first 15 minutes of your morning from when you wake up will set the pace for the rest of the day. So people think about it. The last time when you woke up into chaos, right? The first thing you open your eyes, boom, drama. What kind of pace did that set for the rest of the day for you? Did you feel a little bit of stress in the background? Was it harder to kind of come to clear your mind throughout the day? That's because those first 15 minutes mean everything. It's so, so important to make sure that your first 15 to 30 minutes from when you wake up, you set it with intention. You create intention behind it. You don't want to wake up. No one wants to wake up to chaos. No one wants to wake up to feeling stressed or tired or angry. Like that's why I say the first thing I do is wake up and practice gratitude. I'm already setting the pace for my day with love and gratitude. So that's the first 2 points of my I'm actually getting into a training now. It turned into a training, right? But no, that's like the first 2 things I do. The next thing I do is I brush my teeth and I have to update my goal card because it's a little out of date because my goals and priorities have changed. But I'll brush my teeth looking at my goals. I have like on a little index card. I put it in my mirror so that when I'm brushing my teeth, right, I'm looking at my goals. Now not only am I practicing love and gratitude, but I'm also seeing my goals. So I'm already really focused on what I need to do for the day to be able to accomplish those goals, right? This is how you're putting yourself, or I'm telling you guys how to pour back into yourself. And I don't care if there's no people on the call. I'm grateful for you, Daisy. I'm grateful for the people that do hop on because I can tell you guys really want better lives for yourself, not just for yourselves, but for your families. And teaching your families this is literally going to help break those generational curses because our families didn't know this. So therefore they couldn't teach us this. But now that we're getting this information, we can share this and help better our kids' lives, giving our families fulfilling lifestyles, right? Getting rid of all the unnecessary depression that people are getting or experiencing because they're not taking the time to pour into themselves. They're literally draining themselves every day because they're pouring into other people out of an empty cup. And then they wonder why they feel drained, why they feel exhausted, why they feel tired, why they feel like everybody is using me. It's because you're not pouring into yourself. It's good to pour into other people. We have to pour, as leaders, we have to pour into other people. But if you feel like people are using up all your energy and leaving you with none, well, that's because you're not pouring enough in yourself to give out. Some of us, we only take a drop, but give a whole pitcher to everybody else. I'll say that again. We only give ourselves a drop while we pour out a pitcher to everybody else in our lives. It's got to stop, or you're gonna burn yourself out. And that's why I've seen a lot of leaders happen to a lot of leaders. They focus so much on other people, so much on the results that they lose sight of themselves. And now they feel like they lost their sense of purpose, or they resent the people that they've been helping and pouring into. You never want to get to that point. So after I brush my teeth and read my goals, I then start to journal. And I will admit, the past 3 days I missed my journaling just because I had been getting up later. I haven't been off to a good start in my mornings. So I'm going to get back into that starting today, right? I'm still going to journal, right? Just because I didn't do it in the morning doesn't mean I just don't do it. It's just I got to journal a little bit later today. But I journal to be able to get a lot of the stuff on my head and I put it on paper, right? I'm sure Daisy, you can relate, right? We keep all this stuff up in our head, and what ends up happening, we just start to feel ourselves kind of like becoming sluggish. We start to feel tired and mentally drained out. It's because we're putting too much overload on our brains when we can put it on paper and then we can revisit it when we're ready to. That's the purpose behind journaling, is to take all those thoughts pent up in your mind and putting them on paper. Now you just took a dump. You just took a. I know y'all caught that. That's like why you're supposed to take a load off of your chest when you're, when you're journaling, because it's allowing you to free your mind, free yourself. Because now you're not struggling with carrying that baggage, the baggage of those negative thoughts, those negative feelings, those worries, those doubts, those mistakes, right? That we worry so much about. This is how you can do that. And then reading. After I journal, right into reading. Why do we read, right? It's not to learn, not necessarily to learn. I mean, yeah, I guess in a essence it is, but we don't read just because everyone else is doing it. And don't get me wrong, reading can be boring sometimes. Reading can be boring, but the thing is, with reading, you're learning something you didn't know before. Because what do we always say, right? What do we always say? If you're not growing, you're what? Daisy, I know you know this. You've been on enough calls. If you're not growing, then you're what? Because it's important to understand that we have to always be in a state of growth. We have to always be in the state of expanding our minds. One day of lack of growth is one day of dying, right? If you're not growing, you're dying. So why are you not continually striving towards expanding your mind, learning something that you can then apply into real life and get amazing results? I've read books and applied the information same day and got same day results. But it's because I'm open to understanding that there's still a lot I don't know. And too many people have egos, these egos that they feel as though there's nothing else that they can learn. And they continually live in a state of dying because they no longer are pushing themselves to expand their mind. They're no longer pushing themselves to understanding more about themselves. I've learned more about myself in 1 year from reading than I have off of life experience itself. And it's all because I challenge myself to always add more information to my mind. That's the amazing thing about human beings. There's no cap on the knowledge that we can have. Just as much as there's infinite knowledge out there, our minds are capable of retaining this information if we are committed to doing so. So that's my morning routine. And that's how I'm able to pour into myself enough to be able to pour into you guys. And I wanted to get on here, again, not to give you guys a lesson, not to give you guys, the 5 steps or anything like that. It's just to simply show you guys how you can start to pour into, how you can start to pour into yourself. And by pouring into yourself, that's how you're putting yourself first. You cannot help anybody if you don't put yourself first. And in doing so, right, by not putting yourself first, we're showing our kids, our families, that it's not okay. We're setting the wrong example. We're showing our family it's not okay to put yourself first. That's why so many people think about this, right? Have you ever felt guilty about doing something that benefited you more than anybody else? Has anybody made you feel guilty because you put your needs first than theirs? Think about that. And when you really think about it, you're like, wow, that sounds absolutely crazy, right? Why would I put this person's needs first before my own? I'm not saying be selfish, but you got to be selfish before you become selfless. You have to put yourself first. Otherwise, you're going to not have anything to give. And no one should ever make you feel guilty about putting your needs first. family, even our kids, right? Some people may, this is contrary to popular belief, but you have to put your needs before your kids. Because how are you going to take care of them if you're not taking care of yourself? And then you're setting the example for your children that it's not okay to put yourself first, that they need to put the needs of other people first. And then guess what? The next generation believes it. The next generation believes it, right? And then next thing you know, there's generations that don't even understand why they're doing what they do. I'll have to give you guys on tomorrow's call, I have to give you guys a story about this monkey experience. I forget what it's called, but I'll have to look it up. But tomorrow I'll dive deeper into the story. But basically, there's a reason why generational curses exist, right? And half of the time we don't even know. After a certain amount of generations, they don't even know why they do what they do. It's just been passed on from generation to generation. But we can break that. It starts with having the awareness, and it starts with being able to understand that we have to put ourselves first. So that's it for today, family. I'm sorry we got off to a late start on this call, but definitely hop on tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time and definitely be able to rock with y'all a little bit more. I'm going to find out that monkey story, though, because I really want to tell it to you because it'll really help you guys understand why it's so important to be able to put yourself first and why it's important that we be the pioneers towards breaking these generational curses. So I love y'all, family. Have an amazing day. I will see you guys tomorrow. Breakfast with Aldron. Have an amazing day, family. Peace and love to all you guys. Have a great day.